Do a comms test. That's all I'm getting at.
I'm doing a comms test. What else do you want me to do?
Well, usually talk is the number one aspect. Welcome to the Pacifist podcast. Today we're going to be talking about conspiracies.
Or are we?
Sam. Oh, I've got Mushu over there. Down below, obviously off camera, there he is. We've got Jeeves, and last but not least, we've got Rambo, winner of the Purple Heart Corona 2020.
Stars, man.
There he is.
God bless you.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Round of applause for Rambo.
Yeah, cheers for your service, mate. Fucking nice one.
Shut up. Fucking watch. So we're going to talk about conspiracies today because we received an email from, well, seemingly our number one fan or stalker. I'm not sure which way you want to put it. And it said,
only time will tell.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully they're looking through my window right now. It says, hello, I'm really into conspiracies. Wondering if you guys are into that. And if so, I'd love to see a podcast of it. Something that's really come to life is the Madeleine Beth McCann story. I mean, he must be on a proper close and personal relationship with them if he knows their middle name.
To triple name them, yeah.
The triple name them.
One would almost assume that he's maybe got something to do with it. Maybe he's trying to find out some inside information, get the upper hand. Who knows?
Whilst doing a little bit of research, I didn't see any reference to his name. But, you know, who knows?
It's because he's doing stuff like this. He's getting ahead of the game. He's finding out all the insider stuff, and then he's evading capture that way.
It's very clever. Well, thank you very much, Hayden, and we will address that. We were going to do something else, but we'll do that instead.
Yeah, why not?
Can't say personally, I don't know about you three, that I know a huge amount about the Madeleine McCann stuff. I know I've heard a little bit over the years, and I've seen some creepy stuff written by that weird mum of hers. But, you know, I can't say I've read her book. I've just seen excerpts on the internet.
Yeah, I can imagine that'd be quite a heavy read and probably fairly shit as well. I'd rather read about it off Facebook because then at least you get the juicy stuff, whether it's true or not.
Well, it's definitely true if it's on Facebook.
Well, that's it. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, guaranteed. But yeah, I don't want to. I don't know about you, but I don't particularly want to just jump straight into a little girl being murdered by her parents or sold to a fucking pedo ring. But
it's a bit heavy going. I mean, we've got a couple of comments from the last podcast that we maybe should address.
Perfect. Let's do that.
So, okay, right. Who have we got then? We've got Stacey 85. Hope that's not your age by the look of it. You look younger than 85. She said, The Host 2013 is a very good film regarding alien takeover, but taking over control of our actual bodies.
I've seen that. It's a shit film.
Okay.
Sorry to just jump in there. Have any of you seen it?
I don't think I have, you know. Describe it briefly. No spoilers.
It was written by the woman who did... No spoilers. Well, you're asking the wrong person there, because I'm about to fucking blow this wide open. It was written by the woman who wrote the Twilight books. Do I need to go on?
I don't...
Mayer, her name is.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like my kind of thing. Well, I don't know. From how she described it, with the aliens taking over your bodies, I quite like that. It's like body snatchers and all that sort of shit, you know.
Yeah, so these little parasites get into you and then turn you into, more or less, I know it's a really dirty word, but a communist. It's like like you're part of the Borg. You're one being. Everybody. They go to a supermarket, and it's called shop. They go down the cereal aisle, and it's called which cereal? I swear to God, Siri, I'm going to fucking throw you in the toilet.
Yeah, no, I really like the idea of body snatchers. I'm so gutted we didn't cover this because like I can't imagine how disappointed the alien that gets my body would be. Like there's aliens slipping into Usain Bolt, fucking sprinting all over the place, slipping into Stephen Hawking's, like fucking knowing everything. And then one of them's like, right, let's see what this bad boy can do. Are you fucking shitting me?
I mean, and clearly it wouldn't be the first thing that slipped into you either, would it?
Well, clearly not.
Because there's been loads of things inside me.
This was the easiest host I've ever taken over. Why am I out of breath sitting? Yeah, that would be amazing. What? Yeah. And then the little part of me that still thinks clearly would be like, prick.
Yeah. Well, either way, that film is a massive disappointment. They, oh God, there's a girl in it who's, I think she's right. Sort of, like the aliens who take over, there's like a rebellion faction of these aliens. So she's a bit like the goodies in Star Wars, and she doesn't want everybody taken over, and she comes across a group of people who haven't been taken over by aliens and sort of tells them how to free everybody from the aliens. And it's so shit.
I'm going to have to watch it.
Oh yeah, I feel now I can't give you spoilers, but they call her. She's a oh fuck! It's so cheesy. No, I can't. Oh no, I'm going to. I can't help myself. She's like a space wanderer, so they call her Wanda.
Okay.
Oh, it's so bad. Yeah,
I might watch it in installments. We never know.
Yeah. Well, Jesus, you'll love it.
Right, so having addressed that, we've got more of a question here from Ellie Grundy, saying, guys, regarding the human zoo that we spoke about, who would you want to breed with if you were part of a human breeding program? Dangerous question. Says, my preference would be Ron Weasley. Rupert Grint, do you think an apocalypse would reveal whether the wizarding world truly existed? I mean, I'm quite happy to answer the human zoo one. I think the Wizarding World one would have to be you, Sam, because you're the biggest Harry Potter out of all of us. Unless Zach, you're not a secret Harry Potter fan.
I'm definitely not, mate.
Okay, that's Jeeves.
I've been to the Harry Potter world. Yeah, I like Harry Potter.
Fuck me, mate. And could you sound more enthusiastic about it?
Yeah, I know, right?
I went to Harry Potter World. I like Harry Potter.
Garden Leviosa.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Fucking.
Oh my! Is this it now? Are we Amdram? Is this what's happening? Is this how this podcast is going?
This is improv.
Fuck me. We need to get better at improv. So, Human Zoo. Go on. Who would you want to be bred with?
Go on, Rambo. You've not said much.
Was you talking about this on a previous podcast? Because I missed that.
It came up very briefly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've watched all of the podcasts and you're an avid fan. But yeah, it was basically if robots took over the world and put you in a human zoo, occasionally, obviously, like any zoo animal, they'd want to breed you. So I think her question was, who would you want to be bred with? And,
is that open to anyone I want to breed with? Or
Yeah.
Preferably human.
These robots are cracking good fellas, and they've all said, you know what? You pick who you want. We'll go and drag them out of the pit, and then you can have your way.
Although, what we could do...
Your face is suggesting stuff happening off camera, Zach. Let me just say that.
Well, he's currently looking at the 4 people he's choosing to breed with at the moment. He's like, well, I've got a redhead over there.
Sorry, I've got about 50 things going on at the moment. I'm trying to think of who I really want to breed with. It would be Anna Kendrick.
Oh, yes. There's a shock. Yeah, of course.
If I had my choice, I'd breed with that, and I'd make fucking good babies and all.
I don't know if that's really... No, that is really disturbing, you saying that.
Good. If you're listening, Anna, I'm here. Just comment at the bottom. We can hook up.
Well, she's already been tagged in the last episode's tweet, so I'll be tagging her again, mate, and indeed everyone else who everyone chooses.
Oh, fantastic! That's amazing, Rambo. I love Anna Kendra because she could sing as well, and she looks funny.
Oh.
Do you need a minute, Zach?
Let me guess. Kevin Costner. No.
Definitely.
Um,
Who?
Oh, this is going to be disturbing, isn't it?
I'm disgusted already.
Yeah.
Just watching him think about it.
Can we have dead people? Is Margaret Thatcher available?
Does it have to be human?
I'll probably go Hayley Williams.
Who?
Oh, a lead singer of Paramore?
Oh, yeah. Ooh, it's a bit little for me.
Yeah. Well, it depends what you want the offspring to look like, isn't it? I mean, Zach's is going to be athletic and musical, which is great. Jesus will assumedly be hairy.
Minuscule.
Hairy and small, like a coconut.
Like a coconut or cousin thing. That's a fine choice. Mushu, come on then, big man.
You know what? I really don't know. I don't think I care that much. If I was being forced to breed, I wouldn't be getting it up anyway. If they're watching me,
numbers, don't you? You want to be like a prize stud, and you just sent into a room with like 20 women.
Yeah, I think that would have to be the way forward, and then or have like separate stables, each with a lady
Stables.
in it.
I don't think humans go in stables.
They do if they're in a zoo, mate. Come on.
Do they?
Well, I'd assume so. We need a robot, really. We need a robot to ask, don't we?
That's good.
But yeah, I think to be honest, I would find it a very uncomfortable situation anyway. I don't even think I'd be able to have one off the wrist. Because
Really?
you're constantly being watched and probably analysed. You know, it'll be like that Terminator vision going up and down me willy, like less than adequate, disappointing.
Generous. That's very generous, mate.
Like, this is the smallest reading we've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you though, Sam?
Well, like what you said, it would be awkward. I think I'd go down the panda route first and do no fucking. So they gave me a shitload of porn, and then whatever they gave me. I mean, you know, if Anna Kendra is on the cards, she's pretty spectacular.
I mean, I would just laugh if you're like they're like, nah, it's all right, I'm not fussy, and they're like, okay, bringing the ones that Mushu's finished with. You're just like, oh no.
Oh shit. Okay. Brianna Tough, then that big woman, that real big one, makes big babies.
Wow, they would be monsters as well. Yeah, no, they would be.
Exactly.
I mean, they're the sort of kids that would end up being the elite guards of the zoo or something like that. Yeah.
Well, that's sort of my plan. I mean, if we're doing it for, I mean, if we can mix a little bit of science in there, because nobody likes what the Nazis got up to, but secretly everybody was a bit like, I mean, does that shit work? And
that's it. Yeah. How horrible. But what were the results?
Yeah. Oh, I definitely can't condone that thing. But out of interest, do you have the research papers to hand? Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. As I say, I'm pretty big. You know, it'd be nice to see how big you can make them.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So cheers, Ellie. I think that pretty much sums up your question, doesn't it? Do we think? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, and then not to forget the final comment by Joseph Harris. Thank you, Joseph. You're starting to be a regular here. He's quite helpfully said crazygirls24.com, which you can never hear too much of. So thank you for that.
I mean, that guy's input is
invaluable.
I prefer Hayden's input. He gives us actual shit to talk about, but he's not far off with his crazygirls.com or whatever it was.
No, I mean, I think we might have to, Jeeves, we might have to think about adding him to the credits at some point. You know, if he's going to keep up this persistent following of our little endeavour here, it's only fair we give him recognition for it.
I mean, does he have a YouTube page? Does he have anything on that? I assume it's just lots of crazy people.
I would imagine it's 18 plus as well.
Well, yeah, maybe. But I've got a sneaking suspicion with the content that we've been putting out, we're probably 18 plus at the moment as well. Maybe.
So
yeah.
So, come on then, let's get it done. Who's conspiracies? Has anyone got a favourite conspiracy before we start?
Oh, the problem is everything's. Oh, come on, man. Yes.
No, please, Phenom, you started talking first.
Well, no. Well, I was going to say the problem is everything gets debunked, doesn't it? I mean, all it takes. I remember once hearing, who did Angels? Robbie
Williams.
Robbie Williams. Okay, so he's a massive alien nerd. Cock is.
Oh,
fine.
sorry. Yeah.
No, absolutely same difference. They're one and the same. And I remember watching an interview with him once, and he was talking about how he's really into aliens, and he said this one line. He was talking with Chris Moyles in the morning, so it's highbrow entertainment, and he's like, the thing is, the more you look into it, the less real it seems. And I'm like, obviously,
that's what we call research, isn't it? Is that? Yeah.
Oh, I think so. Finding out some truths. Yeah. So everything I hear, there's some brilliant ones out there. 5G calling Corona, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Flat Earth, brilliant. How people can believe that?
Right, yeah, Flat Earth needs a special mention. If you're a Flat Earth believer out there, please get in touch. In fact, I would genuinely like to have a discussion with you about how fucking mental you are. Yeah. It would be brilliant. So please get in touch. Sorry, guys, none of you are Flat Earthers, are you? Oh
no!
Well, that resounding silence from Jeeves isn't positive, is it? It's like,
Zach's just like round. I'm a donut earther.
Hang on, are you telling me that I can't sail off the edge like in like in the olden days? Or you put a fan on it? It's quite tasty. It is.
I don't think in the olden days they could sail off the edge. I don't think the world turned round.
Yeah,
I think it's always been round.
Definitely flat before Christopher Columbus allegedly found America.
What do you think? It was the weight of his boat on the edge that sort of wrapped it around the rest of the
Probably. I mean, I'm no scientist, but I definitely read something about that on Facebook, so it must be true.
There we go.
But yeah, Flat Earth is amazing. Did you watch that amazing documentary? What was it called? Beyond the Curb. I did write it down just to make sure.
No, the problem is I get really pissed off with how stupid people are, and it puts me off stuff.
Well, this wasn't a big one. This wasn't like a 10-part or anything. It was like maybe an hour and 20 minutes of just these idiots trying to disprove that the Earth was round, and they were spending more and more money trying to disprove it. And every time they did something, it disproved them. Like one of them was like, "We need a real high power laser and then a real flat bit, and we're going to put the laser on and we're going to shine it on a board, and we'll have the board at the exact same height, and it'll prove that it's flat because it will go in a straight line." And they did this with said laser, and they had to lift the board up or lower it, one or the other. It just didn't work. It's it's such special people.
But wasn't there a guy in America or something that was so determined he built a rocket, so he could go up and like see for himself, and he built this rocket and killed himself with it.
Well,
I've seen that.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Do you think he?
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, do you think he saw the curvature of the Earth and was like, "Shit, I better just die now. I can't be dealing with being proven wrong, proving myself wrong."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I've made a right arse out of myself," and just gets out the rocket and just climbs out the side. Woo! Yeah, it's but that's Darwinism at its finest, isn't it? Survival of the fittest. Yeah. You know, if you're the sort of person that needs to check whether the planet you're on is round, you probably haven't got that much space on this planet.
No.
In my eyes.
Yeah.
But well done to him for actually bothering to get off his arse and research it himself rather than just going on Facebook.
Well, I mean, it's quite spectacular, isn't it, to actually build a rocket, like an entire rocket, to just see if the world is round or not.
It's definitely dedication.
Level of determination there.
Yeah. That's the sort of thing you'd do, Jeeves.
Yeah.
You probably got a rocket somewhere.
No comment.
You build it out of McDonald's parts.
No, they're too fragile.
Oh, are they? Oh.
What you saying about my garage?
There we go.
Oh, outstanding. Well, yeah, I mean, we don't really need to go into Flat Earth. Have you heard any of the reasons why Flat Earthers, why they give for the Earth being flat?
I haven't, no.
You haven't, no. So the best one I heard is that there's no single pictures of the Earth, and that because obviously it's so big, you can only really take a picture of the whole Earth from maybe the Moon. So the NASA images are always 6 or 7 pictures photoshopped together to make a circle or a globe or whatever you want to call us, not a sphere with a fucking dome. And yeah, they what is it? They believe that like the poles are just a big ice wall. So it's like there's just a big ice wall around this disc that we're on. It makes no sense at all. I prefer to believe that we're in a simulation than I would that the Earth is flat. Mainly because I've seen the horizon.
You're heading into the realms of Terry Pratchett's Discworld, aren't you? Like the whole world's on a disc, which is on the back of 4 elephants, which stand on the back of a giant turtle, which swims through space. That makes as much sense.
Well, it does. It's the exact same amount of sense. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's all they're regurgitating.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oof. But despite how much we've just bitched about it, if you are a flat earther, please do get in touch. I promise it'll go fine. Do you know what I love as far as conspiracies go? And these are the historical conspiracies.
Ooh, okay.
Like all the ancient history. I do like the Illuminati. I'm interested in that. I'm talking more about the conspiracies that aren't necessarily to do with modern civilization. You know, like the fact that Aztecs have got shit carved into their temples which strongly resemble things like Apache helicopters and spacesuits, like modern spacesuits as well. One temple's got a Stegosaurus carved into it. Like, how the fuck did they know about Stegosaurus? Because they're millions of years apart.
Well, yeah, but hang on, we know about Stegosaurus because we found Stegosaurus.
Yeah, but we also, I mean that's feasible. But would they be able to piece together what a Stegosaurus looked like just from the bones they get? If they do, I mean, that's fair enough. But it does suggest a very high level of scientific sort of understanding, I would say.
I mean, people were smart back in the day. Like, if you look at the Gregorian calendar, this is such a random one, a random example. But we use that. We still use that to this day. And they were so clever, they worked out about leap years. And then they worked out that leap years, or the cycle around the sun, was a little bit more than 365 and a bit days. So if it divides by 4, if the year divides by 4, so like in the millennium, you don't have a leap year in that year to reset it as well. And they work this shit out with telescopes, buggery, and candlelight. I mean, they're all
like my kind of.
Oh, sorry, I should have said it was Catholic Church. Should have left off with that one.
Oh, well, you didn't have to say buggery then, did you? It goes hand in hand.
Yeah, so there were smart people back then. So I could believe that if they found a Stegosaurus bones, they could put it together. They probably thought it was like feathered or something, though.
Yeah, maybe. But then it doesn't account for the futuristic things that.
No, not at all. There's loads of interesting stuff on.
I mean, one program that it's my guilty pleasure is that Ancient Civilization. You know, with like aliens guy.
Ancient aliens.
Yeah, and all of that. I love all of that sort of stuff because there's so many. I mean, there's so many things that tie in with the traditional aliens, the Greys, that we all get shown the picture of. You know, with the big bulbous heads and that. And like the Peruvian tribes head tying to make their heads longer to look like, and they reckon it's to look like their gods, who, as we've previously discussed, religion doesn't need a lot to spark it off.
You love God.
Should there have been an alien invasion or an alien visitation, and it been witnessed back then, they'd obviously be seen as gods.
But it could easily be
the other day, Andy, weren't we?
Yeah. I mean, because all it needs is a little bit of science, and suddenly, like, the simple folk are like, "Oh, it's magic," and all that. Let's behead all of our firstborn children. That'll please them. And these aliens are just like, look at the fucking state of this place.
I mean, if you went back, if you managed to go back in time and you had an iPhone on you, that would be, you'd probably be, burnt at the stake for being a witch, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Got a torch, you could take a picture, you'd be like, oh, I'll capture your soul.
Well, me and Zach used to have conversations about how fun it would be, like going back to like Victorian times or something like that, going and getting a visitation with the Queen in the royal court, and then just pulling out a bag of pills and a load of EDM music, and just be like, guys, this is going to be the fucking best night of your lives. And none of them will know what's happened. They'll just wake up in the morning like, that was amazing. This guy's like a wizard or something. Imagine it. Everyone experiencing it for the first time. It'd be incredible.
Yeah, it would. Especially particularly with the EDM music.
Yeah. Obviously, when I was talking about pills, I was talking about vitamin pills. Don't do drugs, kids.
And stay in school.
Yeah, and stay in school. Oh. Literally just sounded like like one of the aliens from Mars Attacks.
Oh God! Oh, that was a cool film. James.
Yeah,
So,
go on then.
I've just been looking online for some weird conspiracy theories. Have you heard of one about that Finland doesn't exist?
That Finland doesn't exist?
Are you sure?
This theory evolved on Reddit in 2015 when a user called Reagans suggested that Finland was fabricated landmass dreamt up by the Japanese and Soviet Union during the Cold War in an effort to secure fishing rights in the Baltic Sea.
Oh,
Okay, well, if you're Finnish and you're watching this, please get in touch. Unless you're a Russian spy, you cheeky bastards. Yeah, so we've got Finnish people and flat earthers join in.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be a busy comments box. All the tinfoil hats have come out.
I mean, I would suggest that if you were going to come up with a conspiracy theory, you'd do one that people actually want to listen to. It's not being funny. As soon as you said that, I was kind of like, well, that's dull.
Yeah, and also not true.
But that's the beauty of conspiracy theories, isn't it? Because like the majority think it's false, whereas the few think they're onto a truth.
Yeah, definitely. I remember once I used to deliver parcels to this particular lady who, it turns out, was just crazier than a shithouse rat. She gave me a DVD once because she was outside taking pictures of the sky, and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Look at the chemtrails! Look at the chemtrails!" And I was like, "Yeah, planes are going overhead. I mean, we are by an airport." And she's like, "Yeah, but it's the chemtrails, and they're putting heavy elements into the sky." And I was like, "Or it's just water vapor from planes flying through clouds and shit." And exhaust. But yeah, she was having none of it. She gave me this DVD, which I won't lie, I didn't actually bother watching.
Well, just to play devil's advocate here, obviously it is possible for chemical dispersion through the sky.
100%.
We know it is possible. It's just what they're hoping to achieve by it. I mean, rumour has it that Paul McCartney used to disperse silver nitrate, I believe, from a plane before playing Here Comes the Sun, because silver nitrate dispersed. I would have laughed if there's a little midget back there or something, just like, oh! Yeah, but silver nitrate disperses clouds and that. So he used to, rumour has it, he used to disperse that into the sky to make the clouds go away. So the sun came out every time he sung that song.
I mean, while you're on Paul McCartney there, Andy, there's another conspiracy theory there, right there, mate.
Let's do it.
Well, there's quite a few, but go on.
That he's not actually Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney died.
That's true. Yeah, they do reckon, or there is a school of thought that Paul McCartney died in 1966 in a car accident and was replaced by a guy called Billy something. I want to say Billy Swift, I think.
Can't remember the name.
I'm sure it was a guy called Billy Swift, a Glaswegian lad who looked like him, and he's played the part of Paul McCartney ever since.
You can imagine how pissed off you'd be if you got to be Paul McCartney, all that money, you pretend to be him, and you end up with Heather McCartney with her one leg and her bad sausages.
Yeah.
Fucking, I mean,
that's pretty brutal.
I'll tell you what, going back to the question about the breeding in a zoo, not her.
Oh,
no,
really?
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Her. Write that off.
Right. She's getting tagged for that.
Yeah. Sorry, Linda.
No, you're
The
not.
sausages are shit. It tastes like fucking cardboard. I don't really know much about Paul McCartney. I know he's, sung some half decent songs, and he looks like somebody's wearing him nowadays. And also,
He really does.
yeah.
Oh.
But that's sort of like generic old person look, isn't it?
I was under the assumption that one of Zach's favourite conspiracies, I reckon, would involve someone that was supposed to have died that didn't.
Was it Tupac?
Would I be right, Zach?
You would be right, mate. I mean, I've got a list actually tonight, and I think that's about 16th on my list tonight.
Let's hear it then. Oh, I want to hear the other 15.
Well, no, I'm not. I was joking. I've only got 3, 4.
I heard a conspiracy that Zach's not very good at counting.
Yeah, quick math. Now he's just speaking to his producer at the moment to find out what the what number 1, 2, and 3 are.
It's getting all his information fed to him. So am I, though.
He's a robot.
Can you just give me 2?
Yes, number 4 of his list of 16. That's actually 4.
Yeah. So Andy, from what you were saying earlier, I'm going to take that you mean Hitler.
Yes. I was getting towards that. Yeah. This is a cracker. This one.
In my, it sort of goes on from that, going on towards the Fourth Reich after the Second World War. But yeah, I mean, there was a conspiracy that Hitler didn't die. It was his double that died in the bunker, which he had many doubles of.
Yeah.
And he went on to move to he didn't move. He managed to get to South America, and then started the Fourth Reich up in South America. Which again, in South America, all over the place, there is lots and lots of hidden buildings that have
like Nazi memorabilia and that.
Nazi memorabilia on it built in. There's sightings of him. I think there's a lot that's happened there, really.
Because am I right in thinking that his body was taken by the Soviets like really quickly after it happened, and then they lost it, or something along those lines?
Yeah.
Just fucking lost the body.
Well,
his body was burned outside the bunker.
It was burned. Yeah, it was burned outside the bunker.
That's right.
Apparently, that the Russians, Soviets got the skull and still have that. But there was some studies done on it, and it turns out it was
Didn't get that.
a woman's skull that they had.
Oh,
Didn't get that.
No, I got the woman's skull.
So is the connection bad?
I don't think it's the best, but you're still coming through at the minute. So and plus it's kind of your thing.
remember, you were talking. You said that he moved over to South America and that they found loads of Nazi paraphernalia. I would think, so there's probably at least one other person who would think it, that if you were the leader of the Nazi Party and you were pretty disliked worldwide, apart from in, I think, India. I think they quite liked him over there, but I'm not sure. But we're not going to go into that. You'd think that if you were escaping everybody, you would maybe pick a different icon other than the swastika. It'd be like, I've left the motherland or whatever. I've got myself a new pad, but God, I really like that striking white, black, and red logo. It's so good. I've got to stick it back up on the wall.
You say that, but it was an iconic symbol, wasn't it? And I mean, he fucking just got and killed how many other Jews and Polish and disabled, so he doesn't really care if people like him or anyway. So I don't think he would really be bothered whether he went somewhere else and just carried on with what he was doing.
I think he'd be a little bit bothered though, because he did fuck off. I mean, if he wasn't bothered, he'd just stay put. He'd be like, nah, man.
Yeah, but he's fucked off to continue his quest in making everyone blonde and blue-eyed.
You see what I like the thought of him with Ava Braun or whoever he took over to South America, or if he picked up a new wife over there. But him being over there and her being like, Adolf, you must shave your moustache off. People will recognize. It's like, but I like it. It looks like Charlie Chaplin, yeah. and like a 90-year-old man with his little Hitler tash. Like, you remind me of someone. No, not me. I'm Eduardo Suarez. Yeah. One would hope he changed that, wouldn't you?
Do you think he got himself a little Charlie Chaplin hat when he was away from it? Like when he's not like pounding down and like condemning Jews to the gas chambers. When he's at home with his missus, he's like, "You like the hat, love?"
Definitely. And his little cane that he spins around. Hey, Goebbels, check this out. Who am I? I bet it was the life of the party. I bet, you know, as horrific as they are, they did have cool uniforms, and I bet they threw some good parties.
Well, yeah, but you think he's the life of the party? He was a fucking vegan, man.
Was he?
That? Yeah.
How did he manage to do what he did then? I thought vegans were weak and just like withered under the sun.
He was like this big.
He was very weak, but he was on what drug did he take during the war?
Steroids?
Acid?
Opium?
It wasn't steroids. The size of him. It's not like you ever saw him rip his shirt off and do a Putin, where he's like fucking ride along with AKs looking like an actual leader.
I've changed the salute from that to that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was never like, look at my big guns. He was a tiny little fellow, wasn't he? That's why he had such massive tanks.
Yeah. He hated books as well, didn't he? I always see them burning books. Yeah.
No. I heard he was a pretty crap artist. I've seen some of his paintings.
He should have stuck to books. As soon as he started burning everything else, everyone started hating him, didn't they? You know, he was doing all right up until he moved on from books. Yeah,
well, I don't think it went down too well. I mean, burning people doesn't really get the response you always want it to.
No, never works in my opinion.
No, because you remember when happy slapping was a big craze, and all the kids were going around slapping homeless people. Second they set fire to a homeless person.
Yeah, no, it's not fun anymore.
Condemned. Yeah, you ruined it. Not a good thing.
You fucked it for all of us. Nice one.
Exactly. Idiots. Did you not learn anything? Can't burn people.
So there we go. If you've learned nothing else today, you've learned that Hitler fucked it up for everyone. Prick. Are you researching his drug habit?
Yeah, it was methamphetamine and cocaine.
Get on.
Which he then started giving to the SS soldiers as well. But they were in their ration packs. They had a little tube of cocaine and meth.
So how about you, Jeeves? You got any sort of conspiracies that you really enjoyed? Anything that stuck out?
Well, I've just found one which I think is right up your street, actually.
Oh yeah, go on.
It's the Israel government that has a pack of evil GPS-equipped sharks that they use against their enemies.
Spy sharks.
After a series of shark attacks off the coast of Egypt in 2010, a South Sinai official blamed Israel's government. From there, theories spread online. Israel was accused of possessing a fleet of killer arrow armed spy dolphins and a pack of sharks equipped with GPS systems that were sent to Egypt as an evil master plan.
You know what? That is the sort of conspiracy that I can get behind. That is. Purely for the reason, and Zach, correct me if I'm wrong here, but during World War II, did the American military not experiment with dolphins and things like that because of their advanced sonar capabilities of strapping bombs and stuff to them?
Yeah, I've heard that.
So the idea of weaponizing an animal that has the best sonar system in the universe is actually quite a sensible one. And dolphins are pretty clever. I mean, you just got...
Is it sensible, though? Is it? Imagine you strap a bomb to a dolphin, and it's like, hang on, you're gonna let me out in the fucking ocean? I ain't coming back. Fuck you. And there's a dolphin swimming around, jumping around, flapping his flippers, going after the behind boats and stuff, swinging alongside, jumping along with a massive piece of Semtex stuck to its hind quarters.
Yeah, it's when you let it free and it works out. It's really hard to catch fish. It's like those guys back there just gave me fish all the time. I'll just swim back there. You're like, no, fuck off.
They'll be like, hang on, they're pulling fish out of the sea, and I've got this thing that goes boom. Maybe I'll just pull up a fishing boat and just eat the fish.
In World War II, the Russians trained dogs to lie under tanks and explode. They'd strap explosives to them.
I don't agree with that.
But what they'd done was they trained the dogs on Soviet tanks. You can see how bad this went quite quickly.
Oh,
That's karma.
awesome.
That's karma right there.
Yeah, that's not. I think suicide bombing is a stupid thing to do. I think it's just ridiculous. I mean, what is it? They believe they get a bunch of virgins. Do they?
72 virgins, I think it is, or something like that.
72 virgins. They
Yeah.
couldn't throw one experienced hoe bag in the mix.
The thing is, wouldn't it be funny, yeah, if you had your fucking suicide bomber, he went off, blew himself up, he's like, brilliant, here I go, here's my 72 virgins, and he gets put in a geology seminar. Because nowhere did it say that they're female virgins.
Well, I remember reading an article. It was about a lady suicide bomber, and they were like, "But aren't you supposed to get 72 virgins?" And they're like, "Oh no, for the ladies, we become the leader of a pack of seven. Is it a pack? A herd? A flock?
A harem? A harem?
Flock of 70. It's definitely that.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
definitely harem. Yeah, It's So they would be leader of the harem, which is shit. I mean,
Yeah.
the prospect of getting 72 virgins, like mythical made-up ones, that's pretty bad. But be like, oh no, you can blow yourself up. You still be a whore, but you're going to be the number one whore.
Yeah, I think if you were a woman, and correct me if I'm wrong, women, please feel free to comment. If I was a female suicide bomber, I'd want to go to an afterlife where there was so many pricks, it would be like being inside an inside-out hedgehog. That would be my idea of an afterlife. Just get there and just be like, whoa, this is amazing.
Just to clarify,
cut that.
Your idea of heaven is
No.
so many dicks. The floor looks like a hedgehog.
Just like, whoa, this is amazing.
Okay, noted.
This went right. This conversation didn't go the way I wanted it to.
I'll tell you what is going to happen though. That's getting clipped.
Brilliant. Yeah. Why wouldn't it? Right.
Okay, that's an interesting question. It's a side topic, but if you're a suicide bomber, what would you need? What would you need in order to blow yourself up for a cause? What would the promise be? Rambo, you're our military hero. Your governor, he tells you, strap this vest on, go blow yourself up, but it's all right because once you blow yourself up, you get go.
Can I answer that for him? You get a quid.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If I was doing it for the right cause, I wouldn't need anything to be up there or down there or wherever. If I'm doing it for
Just the cause itself is enough.
Oh, that's
I think he's just detonated.
It depended what the bullet. Yes, I believe.
It does look like he's just detonated, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Just
That's
being part of the cause. Okay,
do you know what I'm saying? Because if I'm, out in some horrific land that we won't name, and
like
there's a load of my
Portsmouth.
lads. Where?
Portsmouth.
I meant a foreign land.
Oh, okay.
And people in my army were going to die, and if I could go and blow something up to stop those people doing it, and I'd die myself, and then I'd be all over that.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about making the ultimate sacrifice, killing yourself to save others, because that's all very noble, isn't it? I mean, that's meant to be the surefire way to get into heaven, isn't it? You make the ultimate sacrifice, you jump in front of a bus, but you push a kid out of the way. Ah, shit. You take a grenade and you run into a building and it saves all your squaddies. I'm talking literally, someone tells you to strap a bomb vest on and go blow yourself up, and like all the hideous bombings are.
But
not nice
again, what I've just said is the reason they're doing it. It might not be in the same country, but they're trying to do those things so other people in their countries don't die, and that's terrorism, and that's why.
So for the greater good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
Why they do it.
And a pound.
For the greater good.
So, we go back to the IRA. They were blowing people up because they wanted their peace and their thing in there.
Didn't they use the plant bombs and put car bombs
Yeah, they were a bit dickish about it. But they were doing it because they wanted peace. They didn't want us there.
They were dickish about it, but they'd always call ahead, wouldn't they? They'd be like,
the IRA were never about civilian. The original IRA were never about civilian casualties. They were about political targets and financial targets and stuff like that. Obviously, if people got hurt, it was part of the cause, but they would never deliberately target. They would do things like incendiary bombs in shopping centres and stuff like that, which would go off at night when there wasn't people around. Obviously, politicians are fucked because they're fair game. They're not really people anyway.
no, lizards.
Yeah, but
That's a conspiracy.
I think for me, in answer to that question, I would like the chance to start again. But with what I know, I think
nice answer.
if I could
Very
be guaranteed to start over, then I could make much better decisions in my life, get to a completely different point, and possibly put myself in the position where I didn't have to blow myself up in the first place.
Fair enough. But could you imagine, Musha, having the mind of a 50-year-old?
Fuck you.
It's 62.
Sorry. It's like, what even is that? It's like 78, isn't it? 1942 you were born.
Fucking hell.
No. Anyway, ignoring your age, could you imagine how bad it would be having your mind in a newborn baby? You can't move. I mean, for the first year or two, it would suck balls. I mean, you'd probably potty train yourself pretty quickly.
You're literally sucking on a tit all day and sleeping.
You're sucking on your mum's tit.
It's a tit. You don't care at the time. Oh no, but hang on. I'd have my current mind, wouldn't I? And being born would be traumatic.
Oh yeah, it would.
You wouldn't be able to look down when you come out.
Just swiveling around. No, look up.
The amount of child psychologists because you can't look your mum in the eye.
Yeah, totally. You're the only 2-year-old that needs therapy because you can remember everything, whereas normal babies don't remember shit.
Yeah, but my teenage years would be mental. They would be great.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough. You'd probably fly through your sats as well.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. What about you then, Sam?
Fair enough.
What would it take?
It's funny. I like what you said, actually. I think that's really good. But because what I was going to say is, can I come back as a cat? Oh, we lost him. He's just Martin McFly'd us.
Well, he lasted quite a while.
He did.
Oh,
and he's back.
He's
obviously played the right song. Hello.
There he is.
Welcome
he's back.
To the future.
He's back looking so much more relaxed.
Yeah, he is. He's like all manner of laid back.
So, sorry, you want to be a cat?
Well, I mean, to come back was my thing. I like the idea of coming back and knowing what you know. So it's a toss-up between being able to be 11 again and going to Hogwarts, or coming back as a cat.
Yeah, fair dues. I mean, I wouldn't come back as a cat because they don't last very long, do they? I'd probably come back as a turtle. A giant tortoise.
Fuck off, a turtle would be the worst.
You get to live for like 800 years.
Yeah, they live for 800 years, but have you seen how slowly they eat? They have to live that long just to get a fucking meal in.
Well, yeah, that's true, yeah. And they don't get good food either, do they? They're not big steak fans.
No, they're not. Ugh. It's one food I don't want to ever eat. It's turtle. Just looks nasty.
I don't think you can eat it, can you?
Yeah, it's like I've seen Heston did it, didn't he? He did a recipe on turtle soup because it was meant to be like really extravagant back in the day.
Do you want COVID? Because that's how you get COVID. Why don't we learn these lessons? Well, fucking anything that's not supposed to be eaten.
How do you know? Well, I mean, people eat it. I wouldn't necessarily eat it. I mean, it wouldn't take me long, and then I'd eat it. I'd eat a turtle before I ate people, and like you bastards, eating people straight away. Jeeves is like,
people,
ooh.
Person.
Okay, Jeeves, last one. Probably something stupid like being able to eat a chocolate bar without dying.
He's going to ask what the question was. You can see it in his head.
I really don't know. I really
Oh,
generally
great.
don't know.
Okay, well,
There's
to
gotta be
summarise,
something.
I wouldn't know until
Rambo would just do it.
situation, if I'm honest.
Huh?
I probably wouldn't know until I was put into that situation.
All right, Tubes, I want you to go and blow yourself up, mate.
But
There
you
we
get a
go.
reward. What reward do you want? You can have anything, mate. You could just do it for the love of it. You could come back as a newborn with your own memory. Come back like Sam as a wizard, age 11, so he didn't have to suckle on a human. And you, what do you want?
I'd probably go for the coming back at around like 11 and that lot, because that's a nice little do-over. But I wouldn't want to come out of the cave.
We need to do a biology lesson, Mushu.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, babies don't just happen in caves.
I know where they come from.
All right, or is this a Jesus reference?
Yeah.
Coming out the cave after 3 days in the dark.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got one. I don't particularly believe in it, but I know a lot of people do. The moon landings.
Yeah.
Like,
As in the moon landings
believe-
are a conspiracy, or the moon landings are fake? That's the same thing.
But that is sort of the same thing. I definitely believe they've been to the moon. Undoubtedly, they've been there. But do you think they went to the moon? What was it, 1969? Something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah? Jeeves, are you getting it up right now, the facts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
July 20th, 1969.
There you go, look.
Straight from the fat cave.
Know a bit stuff. Yeah, so I saw a documentary on the moon landings when I was a youth. And they said when they put the flag up, it was one of those flags that had a piece of wire in it, so they could bend the wire to make it look like it was always windy. And I believed that. I was like 6 or 7 when I saw this documentary, so I always believed it. And then people were like, no, they definitely didn't land on the moon. Look at the flag. It's blowing in the wind. And I was like, no, it's got wire in it. And then I realised when I was saying it, I was just like,
Hang on a minute.
Who sounds like the dickhead here?
The conspiracy is they did it in a fucking aircraft hangar.
In a set.
So there wouldn't be any fucking wind in there anyway.
Well, also a very, very valid point, my friend.
How windy is the moon?
It's not.
It depends how many curries the astronauts have had, really, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, surely if it was that windy, we'd smell the cheese from here.
Well, that is what it's made of. But I also heard that the faked moon landings were filmed by Stanley Kubrick, and also like on the same point is that I've had so many conflicted. The problem is half of this shit gets debunked, but it is fairly interesting stuff to talk about. I heard that they landed on the moon, but because of the radiation, the cameras didn't work. So they landed on the moon and then they recreated the moon landing back on Earth. And they had Kubrick direct it. And then I've also heard that they didn't land on the moon at all. It was just a big propaganda stunt to stop Russia or whoever else was fucking going up into space. But yeah, I was just wondering what where you guys stood on it.
Just on that note, I would strongly recommend, if you haven't looked into this, check out this about Kubrick and the moon landings and the clues that he's put in The Shining. There's several clues, there's several hints towards it, and it does make a lot of sense when you watch it. It's a really fun watch. So do that.
Is that a documentary?
I just think there's YouTube videos on it and stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's been made into a proper documentary. I like what you're saying though, Sam, and I'd like to think that it was a fuck up, just because I like humorous stuff. And it would be great if they're sort of on their way back to Earth, and like Neil's there, he's like, "This fucking flag's digging into me." And what? That was supposed to go in a fucking moon, you div. Oh no, we've fucked this right up, haven't we? And then they've got to land, get a bollock in. Let's get Stanley in. We're gonna have to do this again, but in this hangar.
Well, yeah, or totally, or even better, Neil's there and he's like packing up his camera, he slings it over his shoulder, and he gets back in. He's like, "Come on, then, lift off." And they're like, "You didn't take the lens cap off."
Yeah. We've got 132 photos of your thumb, you cock.
Also,
these spacesuits are bulky.
just on that note, if you go back to the Second World War when they landed on Iwo Jima, obviously there's the fucking famous picture of them raising the flag.
Yeah.
Which wasn't actually the flag that was raised. They redid it, I think, a couple of days later to take the picture. So,
Amazing.
going on from that, it could kind of make sense to
really
fake.
It's funny you should mention that flag thing, because that picture is iconic, isn't it? It's been put into statue form, gave hope to so many people. That apparently the Soviet Union tried to recreate that exact same picture
on top of the fucking they did it on top of a building in Berlin, I'm sure.
The Reichstag.
Yeah, but the problem with it was it was so contrived that nobody bought into it. And one of the guys who was raising it up, you could see he clearly had 2 watches on. So he'd been like looting prisoners of war and dead bodies. That's how you fuck up, isn't it?
Was that on the top of the Reichstag?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they kicked shit out of the fucking all of the Nazi eagles, didn't they? And then whacked the flag up.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a little money bag full of gold teeth and 6 watches up his arm like some 80s gangster. I want to watch. I gotta watch.
Yeah, so we know that was we know that they're capable of staging it, but the question is, did they?
Well, I don't know. Well, Jeeves, you're looking it up. Can I ask quickly while you're googling stuff, Jesus? Can you look up Neil Armstrong's last public speech?
What?
Because he said some real hokey shit in that that sort of indicated that the landings were fake. And first man on the moon.
But what? Gee whiz, I'd love to go to the moon.
Yeah,
never been there before.
Interview.
Yeah, his last interview, he says some stuff in it that it's all like, oh well, the truth may never come out about what actually really happened. It's super suspect. I mean, and the thing is, there's nothing. There's not really a lot of point in going to the moon, is there? The moon's like our asteroid shield. I mean, there's water on it, which is handy, but ice.
Yeah, I mean, I'd quite like to go to the moon. To be fair,
Why?
I think it'd be pretty cool.
I mean, I know you've watched Space Force, but
change of scenery, innit? But I know. I mean, wouldn't you? Would you not go to the moon if someone offered you?
Okay,
I
wouldn't
wouldn't.
all over that shit. You what?
I wouldn't. It scares the crap out of me.
No,
The moon scares you?
Well, space in general.
Oh right, okay. I was going to say it won't hurt you, mate.
I want a lot of people, and I mean, I think Stephen Merchant said this about those flights that go up into the upper atmosphere. I want a lot of people to have gone through it before I even contemplate doing it. I mean, like the freaks who used to get off the trains back in Victoria. Pardon?
Like a good woman.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I want to know that it's really safe. I'm not pioneering it at all. Someone else can do that.
Fair dues.
Yeah, I don't need that kind of.
There's one thing I've just found here. It's this is a written thing of his interview. It says that the one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Armstrong says he didn't think of those words until after they had landed safely. But it doesn't say that he got out before saying those words. But to be fair, someone had to get out of the pod first to take the bloody video.
Yeah, I know, right? Can
I just add though that those aren't the words he said. It's been commonly misconstrued. He says this is one small step for a man.
Yeah, it does say
one giant leap for mankind. Yeah, but everyone misconstrues it as one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, which doesn't make sense because man and mankind are the same sort of thing when you don't put the A in the middle of it. It's like saying this is one small step for zebras, one giant leap for zebras. It doesn't make sense. So without the A in it, as people normally read it, it's a garbage load of bollocks.
Right, now we're eating you fucking grammar Nazi arsehole.
Last thing on this thing, it says People love conspiracy theories, he replied. I mean, they are very attractive, but it has never concerned me, a concern to me, because I know one day somebody's going to go to fly back to the moon and pick up the camera I left.
Well,
So apparently they left a camera at the site,
which is why they had to recreate it when they got back.
yeah,
See?
forgetful.
Who's got the
Why don't
camera?
they just go and pick it up again?
It's a costly process, mate. You look at that fucking flat earther. He tried to get up there. He died. Christ.
Yeah. But what about the So hang on. Are they saying that they've not been back to the moon then? I thought they'd been to the moon more than once since Armstrong went.
I
The
don't
moon's
know.
fucking massive though, mate. They go to different places.
Oh, well, I suppose.
Science with Rambo. The moon is massive.
Fucking massive.
Fucking massive. Sorry, massive
Wow.
just doesn't cut the mustard.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
don't really know what to say about that. It is big, I suppose. But surely they should go pick up that camera. That'd be worth a few quid.
You'd think you could fucking eBay the shit out of that.
Yeah, I mean, people can sell carrier bags on there to faraway lands for an exuberant amount of money.
Oh yeah.
You could sell Neil Armstrong's genuine camera with a bit of moon dust on it, some cheese in the tripod stand
Oh.
for a fortune, absolute fortune.
I'm going to say you wouldn't be able to find it again anyway because it'd just be covered over with a load of moon dust.
Moon dust. Did you guys watch the Aliens on the Moon documentary?
No, but I've seen quite a few things about them.
Oh my god. Okay, look, I'm gonna have to. I will flash it up, but I want to show you the picture. I'm just trying to find this picture because it's absolutely outstanding that they put it in documentary to be fact. But alas, I cannot find it right now. I'll have to find it at a later date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to send it over so everybody could see it because it's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. But it was a fun documentary to watch. I mean, for the first 20 minutes of it, it was like, ooh, really? And then all of a sudden it went batshit crazy really fucking quickly.
See, I love all that shit. I love the fact like the ancient alien megastructures under the ice and stuff like that in the North Pole. Pyramids in Bosnia. Look up the Bosnian pyramid. You can actually go out and work on that for free, I believe, if you want to go out and join an excavation team.
So I feel like we don't really have anything to add to the moon, do we? With the
Probably
moon landing.
not, no.
Jeeves, have you found anything out over there? You got anything interesting?
There's only been one manned landing on the moon. Supposedly.
Genuinely, I thought there'd been more than that.
No, there's been quite a few unmanned.
Oh, well, they're not the same, are they?
And you got the little rovers that they drop up there and everything like that as well. Yeah, they're probably still tootling around somewhere.
It must be like a kid's bedroom up there. Just loads of little fucking radio-controlled cars and cameras everywhere.
Porn.
Yeah, there's one bush just filled with copies of Razzle from 1960.
I mean, I'm assuming everywhere has a porn bush, even the moon. It's got,
must do.
it's got to. But it also has to double up as the dogging bush.
You reckon they flash their lights up there still? Or, oh dear. It does make me wonder though why they haven't been back. I mean, it almost adds credibility to the fact that they faked it if they haven't gone back there.
Yeah. It's like, go on, do it again. Nah, I can't be bothered.
Oh,
They
dear.
really say it's too expensive, they claim.
Yeah, it's cheaper to do
why,
Mars.
That's why they're on about, like, you've got the likes of, what's his name?
Elon Musk.
Trying to make it more affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, shall we, now we've lightened the mood, shall we darken it again with the original question?
Yeah.
Anyone have any insights into this Madeleine McCann thing? Obviously went missing some years ago. I think it was 2007,
Something like that.
possibly. Left in an apartment while the parents had dinner a matter of hundreds of meters away, and sleeping with
Tapas bar,
twins.
right?
I think
Yeah.
no matter what you say about it, it's the mum and dad's fucking fault. No matter what.
I mean, that's-
you don't.
Yeah, It's not
You
so
don't
much a
need a
blame
kid.
game, though, is it? Do you know who the Podesta brothers are?
Go on.
Well, no, do you? Any
No.
of you? No. Okay, right. So, I've got this written down, so that's why I'm glancing down at this.
No, that's all right.
March 2016, the presidential election time when all of those emails got leaked and it was all about Hillary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was the email that got hacked was John Podesta. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit long-winded, so bear with me, guys. It was his email that got linked, and in it there was apparently alleged codes for sex trafficking. It links in with Pizzagate. Do you know that phrase? Pizzagate?
No.
It's quite a massive conspiracy. It's about this pizza restaurant that was hugely successful in Washington, where all the high flyers and the bigwigs went. The Obamas went there, the Bushes, Hillary Clinton, loads of major political players. They all went there. They all loved it. And apparently it was like a front for a sex trafficking place. Bear with me. I'm coming back to McCann. Okay. The Podesta brothers are big fans of it. They went, the pizza. I'm not saying that they're big fans of feeding. Yeah. So that's Pizzagate, and it's been widely discredited, but it's pretty dodgy. When you read some of the emails, I think there was an email to Barack Obama. I think, don't hold me true, and it was like, you can bring your hot dogs to these parties, but you can't be blatantly obvious about it. You need to be more discreet. And like, apparently hot dogs is like a phrase for, like a code phrase for like red boys, like children, that kind of thing. So it's pretty dank. And this is all from the Podesta brothers. Now, not far from the hotel in which the Madeleine McCann went missing, died, kidnapped, whatever, the Podesta brothers have a mansion really fucking close to it. There's e-fit pictures. There's like actual, how like CCTV was back in the day, where it was basically pointless happening. It was like capturing ghosts.
Yeah.
There's pictures of them, and the similarities are uncanny between the two. Now, obviously, they're already tied up. Or I mean, Pizzagate is nowadays, isn't it? And that was back then. But the Pizzagate was linked with. Hang on, it wasn't linked with. The Podesta brothers, I think, were linked in with Weinstein, the prolific kidding, rapey, prostitute, whatever. That shit cunt who killed himself. Okay, so they're super close. Apparently, they're really fucking pally with the McCanns. And obviously, the McCanns are friends with Rupert Murdoch, who owns the Sun of the Sky. Not the Sky. He doesn't own the Sun of the Sky. He owns Sky and the Sun newspaper and many other things. I think it's safe to say everybody knows who he is.
Yep.
Yeah, don't need to go into him. So they contacted him, Murdoch, before they contacted the police, which is weird. Sky News knew about it before the police had been reported, before it had been reported to the police that she had gone missing. You've got the Podesta brothers literally in the same town, who are notoriously linked to child sex trafficking people. And then you've got a family going out, leaving their kids probably drugged up. I think she said she gave him antihistamines to sleep. Is that... I think everyone's given their kids antihistamines over the years.
Yeah, I don't know if that counts as drugging them up. It depends how many, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just dodgy. There's just too much to it. It's such a massively weird thing. But there's excerpts in her book. Now, this is horrible. And honestly, if anybody is watching this, it's worth not listening or muting it just for a bit, because the quote I can remember from her, it's horrid. It's just nasty. It's from her book, and she said she wakes up, and now would be the time to mute it for like 5 or 6 seconds.
We'll give you a wave.
Yeah, exactly. You see us moving, you start talking again. But yeah, if you mute now, she's like, in her book, she says she wakes up having nightmares about her daughter's, I think she says, vagina being ruined, and puts that in book form. And I'm just like, this is a 4-year-old child. It's your daughter. And why would you talk about that sort of thing? I mean, it's...
Yeah, that's a bit fucked up, isn't it?
It's super fucked up.
Well, that's the sort of thing you wouldn't, even if it happened, you wouldn't want to sort of tell anyone else.
No.
At any point.
Why would you ever say it, let alone write it in a fucking book and put it out there? I mean, so when I heard that quote there, I was just like, oh, you are fucking weird. Basically, I don't trust anything that comes out of that woman's mouth at all.
No, because I mean, she was widely criticised, wasn't she, for her lack of emotion and everything like that as well in all the press conferences and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're probably fucking wealthy now from it as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, in her defence, I know a lot of the time they're told not to show emotion, or I think in this case they were told not to show emotion by the Portuguese detectives. Because they believe that the kidnapper might be feeding off that sort of thing. In her defence, however, I mean, God forbid, if I was in her situation, I don't think I'd be able to be that emotionally dead.
No, I couldn't either.
Chances are I'd get 2 words into it and then start punching people.
Or crying. Jeeves, are you Googling at the moment?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Can you Google the Portuguese... police report? It's all been declassified now for Madeleine McCann's, because I think they got asked something like 100 questions, and there were like 5 or 6 that they just wouldn't answer, just plain outright wouldn't answer. Which I mean, I don't know what they are, but yeah, I've heard about that, and that seems dodgy as well. But another one that's weird, and Mushu and Rambo, you weigh in on this as well because you've got kids. Have your kids all got like a little comforter? Like a little toy or a blanket or a rag. I mean,
they used
Rambo,
to, yeah.
Yeah. Do they still have it?
Zach's boy's got a knife. He likes.
Yeah, I was going to say, Zach, he's got a kukri, hasn't
he? Yeah, no, my boys used to, yeah.
Okay, so when they were 4, they still had it. Is that fair, Rambo?
Yeah.
It was probably just a Swiss Army knife back then.
He doesn't have anything, but I expect if he did, he would still have it if he was 4, yes.
Okay, well, Madeleine McCann had Cuddle Kitty. Tiny little good. That was like her comforter. It was a toy she always dragged around it. My little girl, she's got Dozy Rosie. It's a little rabbit. She's had it since the day she was born. It's janky. It's nasty. Goes through the wash every now and then. When it gets to brown, it goes through the wash. Now, that got left behind, okay, by the kidnapper or whatever. If my daughter had been taken and Dozy Rosie was left behind, my poor boy has just got a rag for the record. She's got a little rabbit, and my boy's just got a rag. Call it George.
Bless you.
Anyway, yeah, it was called Skanky Blanky, but now it's George.
There it is.
Yeah, strange rabbit. He's brilliant. But either way, if his rag or that had been, I would probably put that in a vacuum sealed bag or a Ziploc bag. I would never wash it, and then in times of crisis, give it a little sniff, give it a little hug. Because scents and all of that, it brings back memories. No, but what's the McCann's mum called? I've forgotten her. Kate. Yes. Within 12 hours, she had put Cuddle Cat through the washing machine.
You certainly wouldn't do that.
No, it's fucked up, isn't it? It's super fucked up.
Again, being devil's advocate, I've been around grief quite a lot. I've seen people react very strangely to grief, and sometimes one thing is to just carry on as normal. I agree, it does sound very, very suspicious, but on the flip side, you don't know what's going on in someone's noggin when they're trying to process shit like that, because it completely fucking stir-fries your head, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, if you're trying to wash out the trace of the drugs that you drugged your daughter with to sell them to the Podesta brothers.
I mean, that's probably going to be the reason to wash it, isn't it? For evident. I mean, from my point of view, I wouldn't tamper with anything just in case the police needed it again to check for DNA or something like that.
Exactly.
Which should be noted that the police fucked the DNA from the start as well.
Really? Gives details.
there was cock-ups. I believe it was the British police when they Scotland Yard when they took over the investigation. Like DNA samples got lost or mixed up. And as any law enforcement officer or anything will tell you, like the moment you have a fuck up like that, it derails the whole investigation. It puts added pressure on every department.
Yeah.
And it gives you false leads, and false leads are so damaging in terms of time, and time is vital in kidnap cases or anything like that. So it put everyone on the back foot straight away, which just added more confusion. Of course, you got the media; they jump in on that as soon as there's a fuck up.
Well, the media were on it before the police were on it, and Gordon Brown was as well. Apparently, the McCanns knew Gordon Brown, who was a senior political person at the time. He wasn't Prime Minister, I don't think.
He wasn't Brown either.
No?
Sorry.
You're doing jokes, are you?
I was just trying to lighten the mood back up, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's an appropriate joke for sex trafficking? I don't know. Probably not that.
I don't really know many, if I'm 100% honest. But I mean, it's it's a shit subject, isn't it? But what about the Godiva dogs?
Yeah.
Apparently, that car wasn't used for 3 days until after until after she was reported missing. It wasn't used for maybe 3 days through the process, but maybe they didn't use it the day before. They didn't use it till 2 days after. Either way, there's a 3 days and Godavas all in there, and they picked up traces of dead body in the car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and in the apartment, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or was it just in the car? I can't remember. But,
I've just had a witness statement, a bit about the witness statements, and apparently there's inconsistencies with their stories on when they actually went in and checked in the apartment on the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And the first time, they said they went through the back unlocked patio door.
Yeah.
In their second interview, they said that they went through the locked front door. Or it could be the other way around. I have read quite a bit. But, so there's inconsistencies with their first and second statements.
I think Zach definitely hit the nail on the head. I mean, you're right. It's not about blaming anyone, but I think the McCanns have to. They are accountable. They are heavily accountable. Whatever happened, even if it was, nothing to do with them, by them leaving their kids. But this is another thing, isn't it? Because their local council refused to open any investigation into child negligence or anything like that. So why did that happen? Surely, if that was me or you, we'd have them all up our asses.
Yeah, they absolutely would be. It would be the first time something's been up there, so you'd be all right with it. But I mean,
I don't know what we're getting at. It seems to be a recurring theme.
Yeah, well, it's just that with the host penetrating you, it just keeps coming back to that. But I think one of because they went away, there were couples that went away, weren't they? It was like a couple of families.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the other family were the husband or the man involved was also a convicted, I want to say pedo, but we'll say sex offender to keep it broader. It's just, I mean, they come up, they put on a good face. It's a little blonde-haired, little avian baby like you do, like you, Rambo, with your blonde hair and your blue eyes. Immediately get hold of it and go absolutely crazy, but they're dodgy as fuck. They're not like a normal.
Well, might I suggest, because I don't want this to turn into a very morose, overbearing show, and it's been going for a while already. Why don't we wrap up the Maddie McCanns with just a brief one-word sentence of what you think happened?
Okay.
In your opinion.
What you see, originally, up until looking into it, I always assumed that they drugged her not in like a nasty way, not in like a rapey peedy way, but in a go to sleep, love. Here you go. Take a bit more Calpol than you need. Get some sleep. And I assumed she fell out of bed, hit her head. They panicked, buried her in the foundations of that hotel that was being built nearby. Genuinely, that's what I always thought. Always thought she
Okay.
died accidentally. They panicked. They cleared the body off that way. Now, however, yeah. I mean, the problem is you go down a fucking rabbit hole. And,
Well, we'll stick with your original one then. Accidental death with parents complicit. Yeah.
yeah.
Fair dues. Jabes, you got an opinion?
I reckon it's the same as Peanut, to be honest. I reckon-
Accidental.
yeah. I don't think she was taken.
Okay.
I think it. I don't know. It's a hard one
No, that's
because
fair enough.
there's so many different informations coming from different places saying different things. So
Mhm.
Which every good conspiracy should have.
Yeah, it is a good conspiracy. It's not. It's completely ignorable, but
Yeah. But Zach, what are you thinking?
It was the parents. No matter what happened to her, it was they done it.
And do you think it was malicious on their part though, or?
Yes, I believe that they were probably sharing her around.
Okay.
oh,
Yeah, I mean that's gritty, isn't it? Fucking gritty.
Which is fucking wrong. And
that
now
went
they
darker than my
I don't-
background.
Yeah.
That went darker than my background.
Jesus.
I'm thinking there is too many ties to sex rings or something like that. I think it was abduction for human trafficking purpose or sex trafficking, and I think the parents were involved in some manner, but I don't know to what level.
Yeah, well, all believable. But again, my opinion of what I thought, that's what I believed before I looked into it more and before everything started coming out about, Pizzagate and all that other bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, talk about something nice.
Obviously, we should just say these are all opinions. By no means are we they're personal opinions of ours. We're not claiming that they're true or anything like that. Just keep us out of all the legal shit.
Yeah.
Right. Anyone got any? What have been? Fucking hell! Just gibbering at everyone. Right. Welcome back. We're currently talking about conspiracies and other strange shit like. Fucking hell, Jesus! Really? Let's try that again. Welcome back. Yeah, Jesus. Blah blah blah. Yeah, fucking. If you just tuned in, why? Like and follow though. Subscribe. Do whatever. That always helps. Where were we? Before Jesus just fucked the whole
9/11.
9/11. Where to start?
Where to start? Does anyone want to kick off with a bit of 9/11?
Yeah, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't add up about it, isn't there? I mean, the heat, the temperature, the blast, like how the buildings collapsed and everything like that, because people said the buildings should have fallen sideways and stuff like that.
buildings shouldn't have fallen, is the point.
Well, yeah, I mean, I believe they've carried out numerous simulations, haven't they? And in very few of them, the buildings collapsed. I mean, I always get a little bit nervous talking about this, especially now that it's going public forum, because I'm expecting probably a knock on the door in a minute. But there we go. It's a fishy situation. The whole thing.
Super fishy. The do you remember it? I think with 9/11, it was like the day Lady Diana died or when JFK died. It's one of you should remember where you were when you found out. Do you remember where you were?
I was in the living room of Barrack Road in Guildford, and I saw it on the news just as the second tower collapsed. Just got in from Tesco's.
Jeeps?
I was at home in Ventnor in the dining room, watching it on the TV in the dining room.
Okay, Rambo?
I believe I'd just come home from school when it was on the news, and again I saw the second tower going. It's incredible, isn't it? Everybody can remember exactly where they were and what they were doing. I'd spent the afternoon around a friend's house playing Mario Kart. I've mentioned this before, but it didn't. But we lost the footage. It was that day when Mario Kart was killed off for me, and I was getting a lift
to go to work, and it came on the radio, and they said the towers had come down, and I rushed into work to watch it on the news. So you see that the planes had crashed into the Twin Towers. It's a mad one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what you've effectively got, though, is you've got 4 guys with penknives or whatever, managing to inflict thousands of lives like lost, and it's all a bit too perfect in my eyes. As far as a terrorist attack goes, it's too simple. You know, we've got some of the best intelligence organizations in the world constantly monitoring for terrorist traffic. I don't understand how it could have happened in the first place.
Now, I heard they got a warning, and they just disregarded it because they get a lot of warnings. But I also heard, and I don't want this to come across as either remotely anti-Semitic or any of that, but I heard that there were no Jewish people at all in the World Trade buildings, that none of them went to work that day. I mean, how true that is or isn't, I like. Again, this is all shit you hear on the internet and
opinion and yeah,
and I definitely haven't looked it up because I don't really care enough about it. I mean, I know those buildings came down. I know a lot of people died, and a lot of firefighters have lost their lives subsequently and are super ill from it. But I don't believe that the planes is what caused the building to come down. I've always thought that they came in and someone did a cost analysis very quickly, and they're like, if we bring these buildings down properly, straight, like a demolitions thing, the damage would be significantly lower than if they were to just fall and hit other buildings. I mean, it's one of those things that if it came up, it would, people would talk about it, wouldn't they?
Sorry, are you saying, so after the planes hit, it was very quickly worked out that the towers would need to come down straight rather than potentially falling on other buildings?
Yeah, I think when anything like that happens, you get a crisis group. You get people in charge of it. The big wigs, they're in their office, they're coming up with plans and stuff, and there's probably one person there who's done the maths, and they're like, these need to come down. It'll put the fire out. It'll get it done. If they fall, it could do so much more damage.
And that's a fucking valid point there, Pino. I like that.
And it's one of those conspiracy things, isn't it? Have you seen the girders, the support girders at the bottom?
Are these the ones that are cut diagonally
at the perfectly 45-degree angles, which kind of looks a lot like a Semtex charge?
Yeah,
a thermite charge. Sorry, which is because that's where the jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams comes from, isn't it? It's like you see them and they've been perfectly melted at a 45-degree angle. And then there's also the footage of when it comes down and there's weird explosions halfway up.
Yeah. Which says there's the lift shots, but that's bollocks, because if you do look at a building being demolished, you see the exact same puffs of smoke coming out of the buildings as you do on the towers.
And that falls very in line with what I could imagine a government would do in that crisis team, because they're like, the worst has already happened. We've been hit by terrorists. We could drop these buildings with a certain amount of loss of life, saving a much greater loss of life, and we can probably get away with it because of the terrorists. It's like a sort of morally questionable win-win situation.
Yeah, you've got your spin doctors, and they're like, no, you'll have a couple of people speaking up and be like, you can't do that, you can't flatten a building, there's people alive in there, you've got to rescue them, and be like, well, we have to, and if we do it now, we can blame it on them, as opposed to blaming, taking responsibility for our actions. Because let's face it, if they'd gone on the news and be like, people, we are going to have to bring this building down, we're going to have to detonate it, there would be uproar. Whoever charged, they'd be sacked instantly. They'd probably face prison time. But if they just did it and then blamed it on the, as you say, the 4 guys with the Swiss Army knives who took the planes and crashed them into the building, they get it, don't they?
But on that note, and geez, if you're googling this, mate, can you just tell me how long it took from the first plane crashing to the building collapsing?
It was wild.
42 minutes.
Sorry?
1 hour, 42 minutes.
Now, I'm no expert on blowing shit up, but that size of a building, to get all those explosives in the right places while there's a plane crashed into it and thousands of people trying to run out of it, I'm going to say it's pretty hard to put those explosives in to have a controlled demolition in that space of time.
Well, yeah.
I mean, pretty hard, but not impossible, I would say.
Where the fuck, in an hour and 42 minutes of that plane crashing, are you going to get that much explosives, that many people, and that much equipment into those buildings?
It's America.
Yeah, you could probably buy it from a corner shop.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah.
No, I think that's a valid defence, though. It is a valid defence that the time frame on it would be incredibly tight. Bear in mind, though, law enforcement agencies over there do carry plastic explosives and stuff like that. You know, you've got a lot of police stations over there with a lot of SWAT teams. Whether they'd have enough to level a building, whether they'd have the people willing to do it.
Not just one building, 2 buildings.
Well, yeah.
They just came down so perfectly.
They did. I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
And you know, is there not the chance that it was already there? I mean, it's a conspiracy chat that we're having here. Could it be that they knew it was going to happen, and that they thought these buildings were shit, and they wanted because for a political agenda, it aligned with a lot of things, didn't it?
Well, don't forget what happened in the aftermath.
Exactly. This is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I mean, any political agenda that they were struggling to pass, or political bills, even like the spying one, well, the stuff that Edward Snowden's always yammering on about, all of that, they just did it straight away, didn't they? Like the Terror Act or something. I can't remember what it's called specifically, but yeah, it all got passed immediately, and they could just do it.
And look at how it provided a perfect excuse for heading into Afghanistan. And securing heroin trade routes from Russians who previously controlled them, stuff like that. It gives them perfect opportunity and public-backed military action.
And for the economy aspect of it, people went out and they did the classic Corona buying all the toilet roll. But in America, they don't use toilet roll; they use guns. They shoot shit off.
What they always forget, though, and what the if the American government is watching this, what you need to do is you need to get someone on your cabinet who will point out that neckbeards exist somewhere in their basement dwelling, Mountain Dew supping neckbeards, constantly looking into this sort of shit. They live for nothing else but to pick holes in stories. So it's almost too much effort to tell a lie these days, I think, because everything gets rumbled so fast.
Well, it does. Okay, but on the 9/11 aspect, where the fuck is the plane that hit the Pentagon?
That's a good point.
That is the one thing that from day one I'm like, where the fuck is it? They found a jet engine in New York down like some alleyway 5 or 6 years later because it just sort of shot off and just landed. Nobody realised it was there, and it was in a bit where people didn't go.
Yeah, explosions just like happen anyway over there, so they don't. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it's like, oh, an air conditioner's fallen out again. But yeah, there's never been any footage. This is the Pentagon. Is one of the major buildings it's where all their all their military shit happens.
CCTV everywhere.
Yeah, and there's not a single bit of footage. There's no cell phone footage or anything. It's like that was the bit that sat the most uneasy for me about 9/11 because they said it happened and there's nothing. Where do you hide an entire plane?
Yeah, they can't remove it that quickly.
No, and the damage was minuscule. I mean, it was damaged. But where a plane, a whole plane. I mean, I suppose they could have shot it down. They could have like missile turrets and things like that. They could have shot it down and some of the debris hit, but it'd still be debris.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, you would assume if the White House has got anti-air facilities, you would assume the Pentagon would as well. How would a plane be able to get that close to it that it could crash into the side of it? In the first place.
they had fucking fighter jets in the air before the first plane fucking crashed into the building. So why didn't they just shoot it down that way? All 4 of the planes.
Well, another very good point. I mean, they'd probably say that they didn't know what their intentions were. But I'd say, I'd say if a plane got hijacked and it started moving suspiciously towards your centre of military operations, you'd be like, do we take the chance or do we just pop it in the sky? I know what I'd go for.
So I've just done a YouTube search for the Pentagon attack, and I've got some CCTV footage of the attack. But I don't know if it's the style of the filming that it misses a frame, but it looks absolutely fine, and then the building explodes.
I think I've seen, is that a red and white plane, that one, Jesus? I think I've seen that.
I don't see a plane at all. The building looks fine, and then all of a sudden it just explodes.
It's just fucked up, isn't it?
Very suspicious, isn't it?
Yeah, people just take it straight for fact as well. They're just like, oh yeah, no, 2 planes crashed and hit the.
But then one of the resounding features with all conspiracies is the conspiracies are put forward in a way that people want to believe them. It's either playing on their comfort or their need for comfort or something like that. But they will always be something the public can get behind and want to believe. Like in the back of their head, they want it to be true, and that makes them think that more likely that it is true.
Yeah, well, they might want it to be true, but again, the tinfoil hat comes out here, and I always just think there's a political agenda about everything. I think there's definitely more going on above our heads than we know about. Rothschilds. Now you've mentioned the Rothschilds. I watched an amazing. Well, no, it wasn't amazing. It was a massive chore to watch. This YouTube series called Fall of the Cabal. Do you know what the cabal is? Do you know what that means? A cabal is it another word for a conspiracy? It's an older word for conspiracy, or a group of conspiracists. Well, I've written down the definition because I didn't know what it meant. So Go on then. I'm just guessing. It's a secret political clique or faction. That's what cabal means. So this I want to call it a documentary, but I mean they back their facts up with memes. It was so fucking bad. It was so bad. It was like the sort of meme you can make on your phone, and it covered everything. But it did mention, and it went into the Rothschilds. It went into the Rockefellers, Rockefeller Towers, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, a couple of others, and it's like they're the ones who own all the global banks, aren't they? Yeah. They fund all the wars. They fund both parties of the wars. They literally fund everything. Yeah, disgustingly rich. And yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. It's an obscene amount of money they've got. Oh, which links in? I mentioned earlier. I mentioned Pizzagate, didn't I? Yes. Yes. That pizza parlor. The son of that is an illegitimate Rothschild. You could trace him back. I've seen his family tree, and you can literally trace him back to I think his grandmother was a legit Rothschild, but his dad went, I don't know, elsewhere and then died. I'm not 100% sure exactly what happened to him. So he's sort of in with the big wigs as it is already. With his little pizza parlor. But yeah, the Rothschilds, they're an interesting group, aren't they? And as we all know, I think it's common fact, they're all actually shape-shifting lizards. Yeah, well, I just heard they wore people skin. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what all shape-shifting lizards do. Oh, okay. Saw it on Facebook. It's got to be true. Right. Yeah. It definitely has. You pointed one out earlier, did you? JFK? JFK, open and shut case, isn't it, really? Lee Harvey Oswald shot him from the book depository. Nice little headshot. Yeah. Crack on. What's the conspiracy there? Well, he could have been shot from any other place, couldn't he? What was it, the grassy knoll?
apparently there was a shooter on the grassy knoll as well. But what I don't get, and maybe I should look into this, is surely the bullet trajectory is something that's quite easy to work out.
They reckon that it was two people shooting.
Yeah.
What? Because of two different bullet trajectories? Did both bullets hit, or?
I can't remember. It was a documentary I watched ages ago, but they said they reckon there was two shots, and there was a guy that tried to prove the theory that the guy could have fired two shots with the bolt-action rifle.
Right.
Yeah. Moving target.
An Italian rifle, I think, that is what he used. The Italian Carcano M91/38 bolt-action rifle.
The M91. That'll do.
Right.
Just make it easy to follow it, won't it?
Yeah, you see, yeah, because I remember hearing about the test, and he tried to fire off two shots, and it was a very difficult ask, wasn't it? In the space that he should have done it.
Yeah, he was far off as well, wasn't he?
I like the more unexplained aspects of it, such as the babushka lady. I don't know if you're aware of the babushka lady.
I've go into this though. This is interesting.
Yeah, CCTV footage and footage from the film footage from the assassination shows this lady stood in the crowd with what looks to be a camera, and then moments after the shots, her walking away, looking very calm and not panicked at all. Whereas everyone else is running everywhere, she's just walked away quite serenely, and no one has ever been able to trace her. They've managed to trace almost every other person that was there to get witness accounts, but she is one that's evaded everyone, and I'm assuming she's been named the babushka lady because of her slightly Russian-y looking apparel.
Did she look like the sort of thing that you could take the top of her off and a smaller version of her would just jump out the inside, Mushu?
Precisely that. No, she looked like one of those Russian peasant women that's like 150 years old but could still rip you in half with her bare hands.
Yeah, exactly. Still carves her own meat off of a live pig.
Yeah, but you know, who was she? Why was she there? Why was she taking? And surely, if you had footage of it, you would either sell it to someone or you would give it to the authorities or something like that. You certainly wouldn't walk away and keep it.
No, you wouldn't.
I'd just like to go on and say, actually, it was 3 bullets that were fired.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought you got. But didn't one of them miss and just hit the car?
One missed, one hit someone else, and the third one hit him in the head.
That's some shooting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I like to consider. I'm pretty confident saying that I'm a professional sniper. You know, because I have played Call of Duty quite a lot, and I know how hard it is to make those sort of shots.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Why are you laughing?
What were those shots again? Where did they hit, and in what order? Do you know?
Hang on.
Did one go through a security officer's neck or something into him, into like his torso?
No, sorry. The first hit in Kennedy, then the second hit in Connolly, or whatever, and the third hit in Kennedy in the head, killing him.
So,
but it says here, the commission concluded that one of the 3 shots missed, one passing through Kennedy and then struck Connolly, and the third was the one that hit him in the head.
Yeah, see, they would have to be fired in pretty... Because I've seen the film loads, you know, it's a really famous bit of film, and I don't remember seeing him move before getting the headshot.
I was going to say, even if as soon as that first bullet's fired, you'd have his security team on him, and you'd fucking duck anyway.
They do jump on him super quick. You see him literally dive over the body. But I don't know, I've always thought it was something to do because... what do they call it? The military industrial complex. Eisenhower gave a really amazing speech about it before Kennedy took over, about how the corrupt as fuck, which again links into the Rothschilds that you mentioned earlier. Kennedy was trying to bring those groups down, wasn't he? The secret organizations. He's got so many really interesting speeches that it feels like he's going to be a whistleblower. And he's likened with presidents-wise up there with Abraham Lincoln, isn't he? He's one of the few that aren't a product of political environments and felt like he had the will of the people in mind.
A little bit more wholesome in terms of office, like.
Yeah, like an all-American, wasn't he? He's like for the people as opposed to for the bank, which is so often the case these days. But his son died in a really controversial way as well. John F. Kennedy Jr.
All of the Kennedys, I mean, it's either horrific luck or it's very, very suspicious. They've all had really bad luck in terms of living.
Well, his son, wife, and I think kid, maybe not kid, I'm not 100% sure, died in a plane crash, and their bodies weren't recovered in like 1996 or something, because there's these conspiracy theories. There's a group called Q. Do you know Q? They kind of run alongside Anonymous.
Oh, right, okay.
It feels like almost like Anonymous is like the English version of Q, and they call themselves QAnons.
Okay.
And Q keeps leaking information, and there was this big, a big like hopeful conspiracy theory amongst these QAnons, I suppose they call themselves, that when Donald Trump was at Mount Rushmore just a few weeks ago giving a big speech, that he was going to introduce John F. Kennedy Jr., or he wouldn't be Jr. anymore because his dad's dead, so he'd just be JFK again, wouldn't they? That they would bring him out and say he's not actually been dead because he's got all of this information on all of the industrial military complex or whatever it's fucking called. But obviously he didn't bring him out.
No.
So
that's that whole thing fell down the shitter.
Yeah, that sort of debunked itself on that. But he was like a solicitor. He was in with Trump. And like, do you know what? You were slagging Trump off earlier, and Trump is a cunt. Undoubtedly, my opinions on political figures is pretty consistent. I don't really like any of them, but very, very quickly within getting into office, he made some major changes. He sacked a lot of people. He's still sacking a lot of people, and he is an idiot. Undoubtedly, like, he's an absolute fool. He doesn't use press junkets properly. He uses Twitter. He has a mobile phone.
He shouldn't have.
No, he shouldn't. He definitely shouldn't. No president before him has ever had that. No president has ever been able to genuinely put verbal diarrhea out onto the internet of their actual opinions. It's always gone through other people. It's not necessarily, it's not a good thing in any way, shape, or form.
No.
With the shit he said. God, I'm getting all tongue-tied here. So John F. Kennedy Jr. and Trump were really, really good friends. John F. Kennedy said he was not going to rest until what happened to his dad was actually like fully cleared. And obviously we've all accepted the shooter from the book depository.
But yeah, don't get them confused.
With a book depository, you don't usually moisten tip and insert into one's penis. But yeah, they were really palling in this Fall of the Cabal sort of documentary. They go into they love on Trump in that as well. Ooh.
Oh, but.
Oh yeah, they love on it way too much. Yeah, they say how he's brilliant and he's actually doing amazing things. And that's why he's always calling out fake news and fake press because but apparently he's big friends with Kennedy Jr., who's dead, and he wanted to bring down the big system. So the conspiracy is that Q, the group or the person, whatever, is actually John F. Kennedy Jr. And if you look at I think it's either his memorial or his house from an aerial view, it's in the shape of a Q.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like shit like that, yeah. Incidentally, I think I'm right in saying that up until Obama, every fourth president had an assassination attempt on them. Most of the time successful, but I think it was successful up until Reagan, where he actually lived through his. Yeah, I think Obama broke the trend on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always loved Obama, but now he's not in power. I keep hearing like shit about him.
Not so sure anymore.
Well, I mean, I still prefer him over Trump. He was, wonderfully eloquent. He was polite. He seemed to have half decent morals and values involved. Is the first lady? She had that. Actually, I was about to say she had that whole policy about making kids be healthy and be all active and eating healthy food at school. And that went away really, really quickly. And I think their bank balance went up really, really quickly along the same sort of time. So
suspicious, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot going on about that. But yeah, I don't really know much else about JFK. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. It's way before my time, unfortunately. About you, Rambo? You know anything else about that?
I'm going to say it's pretty impossible to get 3 rounds off that quick in that direction with a bolt-action rifle.
Oh, that's fair.
88 yards or 80 odd meters. The shot was taken.
That's a good distance, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, the motorcade wasn't going very fast, was it? But even so,
No.
I think after one shot, that it would have been.
And of course, you got the fact that Oswald was shot on his way before he could give any official statements or anything like that. He was killed by a person that was just so outraged by the whole thing that he just so happened to sort of see him and decide to shoot him.
Just dodgy, man. It's just so much dodgy shit going on.
Well, I've got an award for my shooting in the army with a full automatic rifle, and I can get rounds off in that grouping that quickly.
On a moving target with a bolt action?
I couldn't get it on a standstill target with a modern day rifle. I've got an award for my shooting.
Yeah, so I think it goes to show that whoever actually took those shots was obviously trained professionals, but who trained them?
Marine, wasn't he?
He was a Marine, yeah.
Yeah, but would his training cover that sort of shooting? I don't know. Maybe I don't know what Marine training's like. But
there's that scene in Full Metal Jacket, isn't there, when they're talking about Oswald Bailey or Harville, whatever his name is. Sorry, I've got Oswald Patterson in my head now. It's definitely not him.
No, Lee Harvey Oswald we'll go with.
Lee Harvey Oswald, thank you. Yeah, there's that scene in Full Metal Jacket where he's like, he shot 3 rounds off, hidden in the head with a bolt-action rifle on a moving target. He's the baddest motherfucker. But yeah, it's just so shifty, man. It's just too shifty.
Which is another running feature of pretty much most conspiracies.
Yeah, it is. I try not to go down these rabbit holes too often because I find them immensely frustrating.
Yeah,
I'm quite happy with a simple life of solitude. Has anybody got any more conspiracies that they want to talk about? Jesus,
I'm happy.
Sorry, what, mate? I was reading.
Have you got any conspiracies you want to talk about?
No, my one's been covered.
What was your one? Just
the moon landings.
Good old moon landings.
And laser sharks.
And
laser sharks.
Oh, fabulous old laser sharks. Well, fair enough. What about you, Rambo? You got any more on your list?
I think we covered everything I've written down tonight.
Yeah, fair enough. And Mushi's a brief foray into the historical ones. I'll tell you, there's one more thing. I don't know if it's a conspiracy or not, but have you guys seen the Da Vinci paintings when you mirror them?
No.
Go on. I've heard so many conspiracies about Da Vinci, and I love them all.
These are the best things ever. Jeeves, get Googling. Type in to YouTube, mirrored Da Vinci. Mona Lisa's got one. There's like the Virgin Child, I think it's called. These are incredible. So what you do is you get a mirror. Obviously, you have to do it on computer because of the fact that these paintings are priceless relics. But these. There's also, if you mirror The Last Supper, within these paintings, he's hidden these beautiful pictures of like Knights Templars. There's one, if you go off the shoulder of, I think it's a woman sat under a tree. I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but I'm sure one of you is going to tell me in a second. There we are.
There's one there. No, but we'll ping him up. We'll ping him up.
Yeah,
That'd be the easiest way of doing it.
We'll get them all in there. These beautiful, beautiful pictures that are hidden inside. On the Last Supper, you've got, if you mirror it through the very centre, I think you've got a mirror and then reverse that. You've got the goat's head. You've got the Freemason symbol. You've got the all-seeing eye, all running straight down the fucking middle of it. It's incredible. The guy was an absolute legend. I mean, the fact that he could paint all of that, like, and this was what, 500 years ago, 400 years ago.
Yeah, good. Yeah, sounds about right.
Like yeah, it was a very long time ago. But yeah, I think Mona Lisa's got one as well. Somewhere in her shoulder, if you mirror off the shoulder, and it could be coincidence, but there is a perfect helmeted Templar knight with the Mason cross. It's not a cross, is it? It's the sexton, and is it a compass? What's the sign for the Freemasons? It's sort of.
It's a sextant. Yeah, it's the sextant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it's like two V's near one another, like a V like that and then a V like that.
Yeah.
He's got that on there, and it is absolutely perfect. And yeah, it's just hidden within the actual picture. It's just unbelievable. You give me one second.
I love stuff like that. I mean, if he has done that on purpose, that's way ahead of his time, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's fucking crazy. But he's done it in everything, and it could just be that the way he draws shoulders.
Well, it's like if I draw a Knights Templar and then just cut it in half, I've instantly got a shoulder, and then I can start from that.
Yeah,
all I've got to do is add a head and a neck. I mean, it's a very odd way of doing drawing, but I guess everyone's got to start from somewhere. It's like drawing a penis from a cat, isn't it? Or a cat from a penis.
I love the cat penises. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And that picture crops up in multiple videos. And I'll go through the videos and clip them because they're quite long, because you see him, the person who's done the videos on YouTube, actually has the mirroring app, and he's recording it live as he's moving it over, so you can like see it come into fruition.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
it's absolutely incredible. Just the detail of being able to do that sort of shit. But that's just enough one of those cool conspiracies, isn't it? It's that
I can see myself spending way too long on YouTube tonight now.
Yeah,
well, I'm going down that.
To look up.
Apparently, there's like an alien one on the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, there is the alien one on the Mona Lisa.
Quality. I mean, that could all be coincidence, though, couldn't it?
Well, it definitely could. The only one that I don't see as being coincidence is that Knights Templar one, because it features in a good few of his videos. And it's so clear.
Yeah.
The clarity of it is just absolutely incredible. But yeah, they said he could see things in a different way. You know how like some people have synesthesia and they see colours. I think he could see.
They say that when you lose your sight, you gain another sense. When you lose one sense, you gain another one. And he cut his ear off, didn't he? So maybe.
No, he didn't. That was Van Gogh.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry. How horrifically uneducated of me.
Not big on your arts.
I'm not well known for my classical art, mate. No, to be honest.
No, not at all. Well, I feel like we should wrap this up now.
Why not?
Put an end to the conspiracy chat.
Can I just say, I just want a quick shout out to Kevin Costner. Just because you're not involved in any conspiracies, man. You're a legend. All you do is create amazing films. Costner, you are a fucking god.
Yeah, and one for me. Again, Anna Kendrick, drops a comment, we can meet.
Everyone loves a trial.
I'll throw it out there. Also, Anna Kendra.
Oh, do you like the big gentleman or do you like the slightly more athletic type? The choice is yours. All right, then completely more athletic. Yeah. You want a
Yeah.
natural hunter or a natural gorger? That's up to you.
Yeah. Well, in this footage, there's only one of us who've been eating, so I know which one the hunter is.
Well, yeah, Zach, he caught his food.
From Co-op.
Right. Well,
Okay.
I think we need to end on the obligatory. What do we expect you guys to do? Jeeves.
Like and subscribe.
Yay!
There you go. One day
Very
you'll
good.
do it without the hinting.
I did it once. You on your last video.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like and subscribe. That way you'll be notified every time we come out with a new episode, and you don't want to miss it because it's fucking genius. It's comedy gold.
I'm in it.
Oh, whoa,
And
whoa,
Zach's
whoa,
in
whoa,
it,
whoa,
yeah.
whoa, whoa. This was not comedy gold. This was way. Do you know what? Let's throw this out there. Has anybody got any more lighter-hearted subjects that they would quite like us to talk about? Because this one, I mean, preferably not the fucking Manchester pedo rings. Don't want to talk about that. Anything else that other people don't really want to talk about?
Anything to do with pedos, really?
Yeah, just keep it a little bit lighter.
Yeah. I mean, cheers, Hayden. I mean, you are the only person so far to suggest a topic, and we have jumped all over it, but lighter-hearted next time.
Yeah. What are we looking at there?
Zach and his vegan pizza.
Pizzagate again.
Pizzagate.
Right, let's wrap it then. Let's wrap it. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you next time, hopefully.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Saw it on Facebook, it's gotta be true. Saw it on Facebook, it's gotta be true. Saw it on Facebook, it's gotta be true. Right.